I've
Yeah.
only ever seen them bits of it here and
Yes.
there. Like I haven't got one. I don't know. It's as far as I'm concerned, it's just blue roll. So
See,
that's
I'm trying to stay on point, but the only thing that comes to my head is the long game plan and why were we sold out? That's the only thing. Why were we sold out? And the only, I know it's just a speculation. It's not a fact, but the fact that this did happen and it's null and void, and they used a situation that's
the crown. The crown is maritime law. Rule Britannia rules as waves. Like that's the law of the sea. Like and under this constitution, they didn't have as much power. Under this constitution, they wouldn't have had as much power. Whereas once they moved to the blue constitution, they had power. They had power for your fines and your taxes and all these stupid things that we do. Like under this constitution, most of that is null and void. Not all of it, but most of it.
And do you think that's what it is then? Do you think it's
I think that's what it is.
Eradicate this because this is for the people, and bring in the blue one because that is for the government. That's for them to
for the
rule.
crown more than anything else.
So are you basically saying to some degree West Brits still run Ireland? Brits still run Ireland.
I'm not basically saying that. I'm outright saying that.
Right, so you're outright saying that and that's where we got into this. I know I don't want to go off on one here. This is for different podcasts, but you talked about the reason why the Dáil is like royal blue, and it's called the Blue Book. It's royal blue. It's royalty. It's straight direct to the monarchy in England.
Yeah. So look, now look. We continue on this moment, right? So look, the Second Amendment, right, was on the 30th of May, 1942. That was the first issue of the Blue Book. At that time, it was a light blue book. It wasn't the colour blue it is now. So what they did there was they removed the Clough Gaelic text and they brought in the Irish that we know now, which is called Clough Romanic. Clough Romanic is basically Roman civil procedure. There's no Roman civil procedure in the Clough Gaelic text. Roman civil procedure is a part of the crown. So it was said it was done because of the typewriter. Look, I don't believe that. Look, if you look at the Chinese alphabet, the Hebrew alphabet, I'm sure I'm sure they could have done something. But that's what the research I found. It was because of the typewriter they got rid of the Clough Gaelic text. But by 1960, it was more or less all gone. So the Third Amendment, right, was on the 25th of March, 1945, I think it was. I could be wrong there, but it was somewhere around that time. And that amendment was called tidying up the articles, right? So what they did there was they removed the last 13 articles of which Article 63 is part of, right? And like I said, I think that's the most important article, right? Other people see differently, but that's what I think, okay? And what they did as well was they put in the different Article 28.3 with the artificial time of war. That's what they did. So they removed the Article 28.3 that's in the Clough Gaelic, and they put in a new Article 28.3, which is much longer, and it gives meaning to the artificial time of war. It's pure fraud, man.
And is there anything in the Blue Book that references this, or is there anything anywhere in Irish?
On the front, well, I'm not sure about the modern Blue Book, but on the very first amendment, with the light Blue Book, it says on it, this is a copy of the text of the original. And I think it says it on the Second Amendment book as well. Look, there's a lot of information here. I don't remember everything, but I think it says on the second that this is a copy of the original text. Okay. So it's not the original text, though. It's just a copy of the original text.
And people just look by that, and what you have to understand when it comes to these books, anything to do with the Irish government, wording is key. It's literally the definition. People are waking up to the language, the media language, but this is law. This is law language. There's a completely different world of English, Irish, any type of language when it comes to law, legislation, constitutions. And what you think you know about this, as you said, you spoke to the solicitor that basically he says he's going to quit his job.
No, well, he didn't say he said he was thinking about quitting. He didn't say he was going to. He said he was thinking about it.
Yeah, thinking about quitting his job. Sorry to misquote him. But you get what I'm saying, because they understand the ramifications that this has. This is probably the most important thing in Ireland, if not the most important, like above everything else that's going on, because this is the book that can save Ireland, is in my opinion. So what else? So what else have you got? I know there's a few things.
Once we prove, and we have proven without a shadow of a doubt by sending that affidavit, Once we prove without shadow of a doubt that the First Amendment was a fraud, every amendment after that will be null and void. Every amendment. You know, look, that brings us up to present time, right? On the 15th of January 2024, we sent an affidavit. We served the government, every government TD in this island, every government senator, every government MEP up in Ulster, and everybody up in Ulster as well. Every judge in the whole island, a lot of barristers. Who else? There was the Attorney General, the Office of the UK Supreme Court. There was President Macron, Joe Biden, Ursula von der Leyen, Rishi Sunak, the King. That's just a state of few. Like, we served them all with this affidavit, which is a notice of cure, notice of remedy, and notice of jurisdiction, telling them that we, the people of Ireland, we sent it as we, the people of Ireland, we want this corrected. And so far today, nobody has told us we're wrong. We've had a few acknowledgements. We've had an acknowledgement from the Attorney General. We've had an acknowledgement from the UK Supreme Court, who have advised us to seek assistance on the matter and told us that they can't help us because they're not in their jurisdiction, but we should seek assistance on the matter.
Wow.
I think that's very telling. But look, I'm just going to read out a small bit of the affidavit here. Right? This is it here, right?
Yep.
So, like I said, we notice the agent is notice the principal, notice the principal is notice the agent. So please find enclosed, we the people of Eire, Exhibit A, the primary law of Eire, which was the Constitution. We sent them a Constitution, right? Exhibit B, a notice containing affidavit, notice jurisdiction, notice cure and remedy, autographs, and people's representatives. So 7 people signed the affidavit. I was one of them, and there were 6 other people. So there was a list of recipients on it as well. And we also told them this: those within the organs of state of the Republic of Ireland, in inverted commas, and Northern Ireland and the United Kingdom, all in inverted commas, have been given 28 days to rebut the facts put before them. Failure to do so will be deemed as acquiescence and therefore stand as facts at law. Sincerely, we, the people of Eire. So therefore, none of them have given us a rebuttal. None of them. Nobody. So as far as I'm concerned, this is now law.
Right. So what people need to realize is this isn't just a Joe Soap willy-nilly thing. This was sent in.
This is a court document. This is a legal court document. Legal, lawful court document.
That these people, that the Irish government has received, or the government of Ireland, should I say, because I need to be careful with my words now, but the government of Ireland has received, right? And they have not sent anything back in defense of what they're doing or even to destroy the narrative that Sid is going with here. They can't do it because what Sid is saying is 100% fact and correct. So what they can do is, all they have is to ignore Sid. That's why I've dubbed him the most ignored man in Ireland, not as a dig at Sid. Group, not right, man, group. The most ignored group in Ireland, because they are literally coming with law and facts that will completely dismantle every type of referendum, everything that they've brought into Ireland, because they've done that unlawfully, and that in itself makes you to them a very dangerous man. So, I mean, you've never been proven wrong. This isn't wrong, or you would have been proven wrong by now. And whenever, just a question for you, Sid, whenever you're in the company of, say, you've got Into, you've got people, you've been around people that are high up in the political system, what reaction do you get face to face from these people whenever you come?
I've never been. The only one I've ever been in this company was Paddy Tobin. Paddy Tobin a few weeks ago had a meeting. It's on the TikTok page if you want to share it so people can see it. Paddy Tobin was having a meeting. He was basically introducing 2 women. They were lovely women. They were really nice. And they spoke very well. And to be honest with you, if I was inclined to, I would vote for them, because they spoke well, and I would have given them a chance, you know. But what he did was he was introducing 2 women for the local elections and the European elections coming up. So I waited till he was finished, and they came to the question and answers. And then I stood up and I challenged them. And while I was at that meeting, he was all confident and telling us about backbone and accountability, and he's going to do this and he's going to do that. But the minute I stood up, he knew me. He mightn't have known who I was. He mightn't have known my name, but he definitely knew me. And his face dropped. And I was questioning him. And I could nearly see him thinking, you know, don't pull out that yellow book. Don't pull out that yellow book. And I pulled it out. And he went white. He went white. And that's when I challenged him, and that's when he